simple puzzle game for the Dreamcast, where your job is to direct a group of mice into a rocket and off to safety, often while avoiding the cats who roam the level out to eat them. The game contains several modes, the most likely of interest to single players probably being puzzle mode. Each level in puzzle mode contains a series of walls and sometimes pits which must be avoided. The goal of the course is one or more of the rockets waiting to be loaded and blast away. When the mice hit a wall, they change direction and continue moving. If they are caught by a cat or they run into a pit, the level is lost, but you have unlimited opportunity to try again. Another way you can lose the level is if a cat gets to the rocket before all of your mice are loaded up safely. The cats will also eat the arrows you place to guide the mice, if they are in the cat's path, giving you one more element to consider while figuring out the correct solution. While the puzzles start out fairly simple, the difficulty often ramps up, and it's not uncommon to find yourself making several tries to solve a level. Also, some may find some nice touches in the level design, where the walls spell Sega or Dream and make a nod to the Dreamcast logo. Control of the game is simple. Move the pointer arrow around the screen with the D-pad. The entire game movement is on a grid, so precise movement isn't exactly necessary. Arrows are placed with the face buttons with up, right, down, and left mapped to the Y, B, A, and X buttons respectively. And as mentioned, you have a limited amount of those arrows. The amount and which directions are available are displayed in the window at the bottom of the screen. The next mode of interest to single player, but also includes a two-player mode, is Stage Challenge. This mode plays similar to standard puzzle, except things move faster typically, and with conditions that must be met to successfully win the level. For instance, in the first level, you must get the mice to the rocket in 30 seconds or less. You will get a brief look at the level before it starts, but you must think quick and ahead to place the arrows just where they need to go. If playing against another player, you simply need to finish before your opponent while still meeting the level objectives. If you're looking for a more multiplayer experience, then battle and team battle modes are just the thing. In these modes, 4 players compete to get as many mice as possible into their rocket before the time's up. The person with the highest score wins. In battle mode, the levels are divided into 4 sections, and as in other modes, you have a limited amount of arrows to place on the floor to guide the mice to your rocket. The arrows typically only stay on the floor for a limited amount of time, meaning you must keep your cursor moving and your attention focused. At the same time, the game will be throwing modifications to the game at a fast rate. Speed up and slow down are pretty self-explanatory, changing the game speed. Everybody moves switches the location of everyone's rockets around the screen while leaving any arrows placed, causing a brief bit of confusion which will catch a lot of players off guard. Mouse Mania loads the screens with an abundance of mice and opportunity for a massive amount of scoring, while Cat Mania drops a bunch of cats on screen, taking away your chances to score as many points unless you think quick and lead the mice away from them. Each of these events only last a short time, but you will see them several times in one match. All this leads to a truly chaotic but fun game. As a party game, Chu Chu Rocket is a highly recommended title that many have forgotten, but deserves a look if you have a chance to play it. Graphically, the game is simple and doesn't show the power of the Dreamcast like later titles, but it doesn't need to. Gameplay is the focus here, and that's nailed down from the start. Also, the game's soundtrack and effects, while whimsical and light, is a complete match to the game's visuals. All in all, on a technical level, the game is solid all the way through. It wouldn't be fair to the game to not mention that at the time of release in 1999, this was the first game to support online console gaming on Sega's new Sega.net service. As such, along with online play, the game has a create mode for new levels. While this mode could still be of some amusement today if you have a friend and you want to challenge each other, there's not much of a chance to share levels, now that Sega.net is long gone. Sadly, what was the beginning of online gaming for consoles and sharing user-created content is now lost to time. But as a local multiplayer and single-player experience, the game is still a strong pickup for collectors. In conclusion, I recommend picking up Chu Chu Rocket when you can. Copies these days are still fairly cheap, even in complete condition. Unfortunately, ways to play are limited. Beyond the Dreamcast release, only a Game Boy Advance version with limited multiplayer options was produced for handhelds. And there was a mobile version for iOS and Android, but those have been taken down from online stores. Hopefully, Sega will revive this gem in some form in the future. Until then, the Dreamcast version is the way to go. Until next time, this is Solomon Grundy. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and share this video as it helps the channel grow. And remember, have fun and play a game.